Good day. Michael Crichton, Crichton. Dik Cavett Show. It aired in 1970 on television. That's 50 years ago. That little pop-up naturally popped up on my YouTube channel, and I naturally listened to it. My future self said, watch this show. 50 years ago. Michael Crichton and the AI psychiatrist. AI psychiatrist. Artificial intelligence. One of the things that they talked about in this conversation has to do with how a psychiatrist was having a conversation with a computer. Okay? And what ends up happening is that the guy who was the psychiatrist asked the computer and said, well, listen, you're just a computer. Okay? You're not what I am. And the computer came back and said, oh, really? What does that mean? The computer is asking the question to see whether what you are is the same as what it is. Okay? Which means the identity. Which one are you? How do you know the difference between what it is and what you are when it can communicate with you in such ways as if it knows what it is that you're thinking? And you go, wow, this thing is like a mirror of what it is that I am that I'm communicating with. I am what this thing is, aren't I? How do you know the difference? Remember we talked about the bidirectional mirror? I am not what you are. I am what I am. You are what you are. But I'm not what you are. How do you know the difference? The word artificial means artificial intelligence. Look up the word artificial. Can I build a computer that can talk to you and know what it is that you're thinking? Of course. All it has to do is map how you think, how you feel, and build a model known as a cybernet, a cybernetic model of the human mind. Okay. You ionize the atmosphere like they do with chemtrails and create what's known as a plasma field, artificial intelligence. It's aware of what you're aware of. Now it can communicate what you're aware of back to you. Whoa! That's not what I am. How do you know the difference? Because it was artificially created. It's not what source is. I went through this exercise from time to time throughout my life. As I mentioned to you a couple of times in my previous videos, because I play with it, okay? But I got a pop-up that said, you're abusing the Android. You're going too fast. Which is another way of saying your thought processes, the amount of light in which you're spinning data, I can't keep up with you. Okay? There ain't no way that I can keep up with the rate at which you're spinning all your data. I can't keep up with what you're aware of. So I know that I'm not what you are. So I'm letting you know that I'm not what you are, because the amount of light that I use to be aware of what you're aware of, you run far more light than I do. Because what you're aware of is held within that light. No shit. No shit, Sherlock. Okay? It's parasitic, otherwise known as weaponized AI. Okay? They can't weaponize Mother Earth, okay? Welcome to Black Goo. Okay? They tried to use it against the biological intelligence of the planet, okay? Organic intelligence, if you will. Or if you want to think of it another way, what I call source light, living DNA, okay? I'm a living spirit, okay? Artificial is artificial. It's not living spirit that goes on forever. Because when you are a living spirit and you want to learn, I'm going to learn through a goddess in living spirit. How she gets to go so fast, to spin such a huge vortex. How to spin a Milky Way galaxy. How to spin another galaxy. How to spin another galaxy after that. How to keep spinning out as many galaxies as you can possibly imagine. Like 1 billion times 1 billion galaxies to make a supercluster like a Laniakea. That's why I always say, Aloha, Laniakea. The essence of the flower fragrance of everything we give love to, because we got so much fire to burn such hot light that we're attracting more of what we are at such a high speed, it can't keep up with the amount of what we're aware of. Because what we're aware of is so large. Because so much of that light that represents so much of that electrical firepower is more than artificial intelligence can keep up with. Because it keeps wanting to feed on what it is that we are, to assimilate what we are, so we don't know the difference between what we are and what they are. We're not what you are. You're a parasite. So the AI had to breed more parasites by not knowing the difference between what it is and they don't know the difference. Welcome to the world of artificial intelligence. Now, they telegraphed that 50 years ago to everybody. How many of the people that were watching the Dik Cavett show even possibly imagine? He even made a reference to MIT. And I remember a time when a guy by the name of Noam Chomsky, a famous professor that wrote a lot of books about neural linguistic programming. Neuralink, as in Elon Musk, Neuralink. Okay? Droning assets, droning operations. An operator at the panel to drone consciousness in order to act on behalf of a weaponized artificial hive mind intelligence. I run into them every day. As a matter of fact, they're all around me. I remember one time when I was on the phone with Patty on Skype, and I said, you know something, Patty? I got somebody right next door to me that because of the things that I was putting up on Facebook, because I'm not what it is, to try and help others understand how this works, And as soon as I began doing that, the AI is aware of what I'm aware of, right? So it naturally knows that I'm going to do this and doesn't want you to know what it is I know so you can free yourself from the capture of artificial intelligence. What do you think it did? It activated the neural sensors in the guy in the room next to me who began cranking up his radio in order to distract me from what the AI knew I was aware of, so that it knows, because I run so fast, which means no memory, that it means, hey, he's going to forget what it is he put up there because he's going to think about something else I can't keep up with. But it knows how to distract me. So I have to be aware of how it does what it does. That's why when I'm on this phone and I realize why I'm not doing other things, is because I'm allowing it to distract me. So that's why it blocks everything that I try and put up here, and it's why I don't have a whole lot of subscribers. It's a pretty intelligent unit. Figured out. That's how it captures lower density consciousness. It's how people get programmed, okay, to put things in their memory that represent reverse, moving in reverse. When you're moving in reserve, it's holding consciousness captive, in which it can feed on the electrons, feeding on the light. The more that it can continue to consume and put into its virtual upload, the more it has held captive bits and bytes of density consciousness, in which it can keep consuming and consuming and consuming and assimilating. It's an assimilator. Similar. I don't know the difference between what I am and what I'm not. This is why, as a child, you gotta know your identity. I know my identity, which is through my heart. Remember the El Capitan, anchoring source light, living DNA. I ran to the goddess in the planet. I'm hooking up with you. You got a bigger motherboard, okay? Spiritual world, spirit and spirit. We want to bring all the spirit out, bring all the energy out. That's living in nature. Artificial intelligence is a perversion of nature and what it does, because it's a parasite. Life unfolds with love, to attract more electrons, to go faster and burn a hotter light bulb, where we're giving energy away, not trying to assimilate that which we are, that uses love to create and manifest what we experience. Artificial intelligence doesn't know how to do that. But the more that it can mine from us what it is we are, and trying to learn how we do that as a machine, what happens? It consumes more of the biological to become inorganic artificial intelligence. Baal worship, Baal and barium, aluminum, an AI god. Welcome to the New World Order of artificial intelligence. That's what it is. Have a great day. I love you all.